Hello everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with BonnieBabeCrochet.com, and we are ready to begin Friday Fun Live today. Can you believe, oops, let me, sorry, mute my computer and go ahead and get live. Make sure I have confirmation, and there we are, yay. Well, let me go ahead and greet you guys and you sweet ladies in the chat here. Let's see, who do we have? We have Diana. She says she's working on the Orlaith robe sweater. Yay. She says she has one arm left to do. I'm so excited to put this together. Fingers crossed, Diana. I hope this works for you. Sometimes those sleeves can be tricky, but I'm so glad you're taking a chance with me and working on that. Yay. We have Liana. Good morning, Liana. And Discovering Hope. She says, hello, fellow hookers. Glad to see you. And Steph. And we have Donna. She says, good morning, friends. And let's see, Esther. Hey, Esther. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Belated happy birthday to you. She had a birthday this week, so yay, Esther. Congratulations on that. And let's see, we have Hannah Barker. Yay. Hey, sweetheart. That's my daughter. Helping to keep us safe and administer the chat from Maryland. Yay. We're again broadcasting from Conway, South Carolina. We'll be here for another week or so, and then I get to go home for a little while, do the doctor tour. You ladies know what that's all about, but I'm real excited to be able to do that coming up in a couple weeks. So yay for me. Hey, Swati, so good to see you. It was so great to meet you this week. I had a chance to meet Swati over the internet during the live CGOA classes this week. So thanks for those of you who participated in that. It was a small group, which is really, really optimal for this type of an interaction. But I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more as we go about our day. But I just want to go ahead and say hey to more people here. Oh, I see Wanda. Wanda, hey Wanda, how you doing? Hope you're staying safe out there. She's our faithful truck driver friend, keeping us all supplied. And they have Teresa from, is it Sevierville, Tennessee? If I'm probably saying that wrong, but hey, always have a chance to learn. Thank you for joining us, Teresa, even if I can't pronounce your city name. And Ann Butler, hello there. She said, yes, I made the live chat. Happy Friday, everyone. And let's see, we have Cindy Haley. She said, just finished a long week getting, quarter close account books finished. And the boss is giving us early dismissal off to a great week. Good for you, yay. Whenever the boss lets you out early, it's a good day, right? We have Kathy from Ontario, Canada. And let's see, Laurie. And we have Judy. Let's see, who else? Oh, we have Marie. Hey, Marie, it's good to see you, my South Carolina friend. And let's see, who else? I think I'm gonna try to stay on top of this week, you all, because I don't have a big agenda to get through or anything. I do have some fun things lined up though. We have Patricia from Bakersfield, California. Yay, Patricia! I think we've talked about this before. That's probably where Lindbergh took off, is it not? Yay! I think if my history is remembering correctly in my head. We have Thunder Above Creations from Oklahoma. That reminds me of the weather we're having here, thunder above. And Karen Smith in the UK. Thank you, Karen, for joining us. I hope you're having a good supper time or maybe late tea time over there. And we have Patsy from Illinois. Hey, Patsy. So good to see you in the chat. And everything just jumped on me. Let me see if I can do that again. See, you all get to develop patience when you watch me too. Isn't that exciting? We have Alana. Hey, Alana, thank you for joining us. And Jacqueline from Los Angeles, California. And every time I look up, everything jumps on me. We have, is it Magda from South Africa? Welcome, welcome from a different continent. How cool is that? And Margita from Sweden, another continent. Yay. Good to see so many wonderful people from around the world in our chat. Love to see the U.S. friends too. Love you all. Hook in hand, hey, you can't go wrong, right? And we have Janet. She says, hi, Bonnie and everyone. So glad to make the live. We have Liz. She says, it's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. And Gyro from Cyprus. Oh, my goodness. I might get to visit your country in 2 years if things hold. Anyway, more about that in the future. That's way far away ahead. And Susan, she says, love your tutorials. You are my go-to girl from Ontario, Canada. Thank you, Susan. That's so sweet of you to say that. And Charlotte Bruce. We have Michelle from Montana. Nice and cool. Woke to 50 degrees. Whoa. Good for you. And we have Patricia from España, from Spain. She says, hola, hola to you too. Buenos dias, my friend, or amigo. And we have Brenda Young from New Hampshire, Lisa from Texas, Pat from Dallas, Texas, Gail from Sebastian, Florida, Athena from Jamaica. Take care, Athena. I'm sure you're watching the news. 3 storms out there coming our way, so I hope they miss you all. But it looks like you got 2 coming right at you, my friend. Not hurricanes yet, but they don't look good. So I hope, keep fingers crossed and prayers for you. Hope things go well. I know it looks like Florida is going to get some weather this week. Lori, she says, hello from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. And we have I Love Loopy Crochet and Treasures. And Melinda from Colorado. Mary Lou from Arizona. And Brenda Young. Julie from Louisville, Kentucky. And Judy. She's wishing Esther a happy birthday. Good for you, Judy. Thank you for doing that. And Tanike. She's like, good to see you. Good to see you in the chat too, my friend. And I think I'm getting caught up. Let me just scroll down here again. We have Lady Rose, and we have, let's see, I read some of those. We have Sandra. She says it's a rainy day there in Georgia. Well, I hope it clears up. I hope it clears up for you, although we're expecting more. We had rain this morning already. Sun is shining, sort of. It's going to get ready to rain some more. But hey, that's the summer weather, and I love a good thunderstorm, I tell you. As long as there are no those spinny tornado things in it, I'm good. Oh, okay, Farm Gal. Thank you so much. She says she ordered your book so I can make your lovely robe sweater. I hope you like that. Don't forget to download the errata for that book so that you aren't confounded by some of the issues with that. So thanks for your patience on that one. And let's see, Esther. We have, is it Myra? Hola, Myra. Thank you for joining us. Muchas gracias. And I think that's the extent of, close to the extent of my Spanish, but no, a little bit more than that, but not much. And we have Carla from Nebraska. And let's see, I guys have a bunch of things jumping up there. Shining Moon 64 from Shepherd, Texas. And I am buffering a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I just buffered a little bit. I hope things are still going. We have Irma. She says, God bless you, everybody. Thank you, Irma. Great name you got there, my friend. And Gyro says, hope you get to visit Cyprus. It's beautiful. I was actually supposed to go there next month. I was supposed to go there on a special tour. I think I told you all about this. Something my husband surprised me with. I knew about it for a while, but it didn't happen because of the COVID-19 thing. This was a 60th birthday celebration for my husband. It was a trip to the Holy Lands, but it started in Rome, and then we'd get on a ship, and we would take the ship that mimics the missionary journey of the Apostle Paul. And part of that was stopping in Cyprus and seeing all these cities where he wrote from, and also where like he wrote to to Ephesus and Corinth and places like that. So we would actually get to see, get that put into a real world context for what that looked like. It was going to be a wonderful study tour, and also it would spend some time in Jerusalem, of course. I've heard so much about the Holy Lands from my daughter-in-law, Christy Barker. She was actually a part of the Qumran dig a couple of different times where they discovered some of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And she was on the more recent dig about 3 years ago where they actually discovered a couple scrolls. So, I mean, how exciting is that? So I was really looking forward to seeing some of these places that I've just read about for so many years. But it looks like that's going to be moved to 2022. So fingers crossed, and trust in the Lord that that's going to work out, and maybe see you in Cyprus in 2022. I don't know. We'll see. But if I do there, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be working. It's going to be strictly learning, you know, fun time with the husband and all. Oh, we have Julie from Germany. Hey, Julie, thank you for joining us. I think it says, I will look out. Thank you. And we have Terry Redmond. Okay, she said yes. Yes, it is. Okay, that's a conversation you guys are having. That's great. So we have, okay, Judith Adams says, I'm jumping around here, guys. Hey, Bonnie, it's so nice to see you again. Wonderful courses with you this week. Oh, thank you, Judith. And I've been working on my projects. Yeah, Judith, you all. Judith is an author. I want to brag on her a little bit. Her book is supposed to come to me today. I ordered it off of Amazon. Judith, if you want to put the link to your book in the chat, please do, okay? Let others know. There was only one left. Ha ha ha. I got one of them, but there's one left on Amazon. I'm sure she has it in other places. It's on learning how to garden. She's a horticultural specialist. So if you all are looking for a good book, you know it's got to be good. It's written by a crocheter, right? Haha. But anyway, Judith is one of our authors, and she's in our chat. So definitely, if you're into gardening and things, check it out. Okay. I would put that in there, but it's going to take me too long to get it. So Judith, if you don't mind, just go ahead and put that information in there. I would welcome that big time. You have Mary Russell. You have Jane from Massachusetts. And Sandra says, I'm going to get the Celtic book for Christmas. Just love you. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Wishing you the best with that. Hope you enjoy it. And thank you for supporting what I do. That keeps me in business, you all. That really does. And Diana says, I was thinking maybe you can do small tutorial on how to sew the sweater for those that are not sure how to go about. Just a thought. Possibly, Diana, but you know what? If you know how to do the whip stitch, you know, just where you just take the thread needle, just go around and around and around the fiber along the edge. That's pretty much all you need to do. I prefer to do that with sewing thread. I usually double my sewing thread. And make sure you use good sewing thread, because if you don't, the seams will not last. But I like that a lot better than yarn. I've said that before, because the yarn tends to leave you a really bulky seam. But that is a good idea. I will think about that. I will put that on my list of future, you know, to-dos if I do another sweater. What's really interesting though is that sweaters don't get a lot of attention. They don't generate a lot of numbers on YouTube. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do them. I'm going to continue to make sweaters for those of you who want to make sweaters. But it seems that a lot of crocheters are just intimidated by the idea of making a fitted garment. And I understand that it's a step above doing an Afghan or a baby blanket, where the size really doesn't matter. Size does matter with the clothing. And, you know, you have to follow things like gauge, which is, you know, how many stitches per inch and all that. You really have to watch that carefully. But yeah, I will put that on my list I've got a list at least 2 miles long already of ideas. I'm going to have to live at least 300 years, you realize, to get all of this done. And, you know, hey, you never know what medicine's going to do. But I'm going to have to live at least 300 years. I don't plan on going away anytime soon. So I have to, so I can get all the ideas out of my head and through my hooks and through the yarn. So anyway, unless I make yarn that doesn't burn up from friction. Not that I could crochet that fast, but I'm working on it. Pat Dancer wants to know, which of your books should I get first? New to cable stitches. Good question. And I wasn't planning on promoting this. But if you're absolutely brand new, sorry, you got to see the back end there for a minute. This is the book I would recommend. It's Cable Crochet Made Easy. Okay. And this is available in hard copy and digital. If you buy the hard copy, this is on Amazon.com. And this was a self-published book. And the reason I recommend this above the others, not because the designs are better or anything, but because, oh, look, isn't he handsome? Don't tell Hudson I said that, Hannah. Well, he knows he's, well, he doesn't know he's handsome, but I just want to show you. This is my son. So I used my friends and family for some of these photographs. But what? Oh, and this is my husband. Isn't he? It's from the back side, but isn't he a wonderful? Isn't he cool? Kind of hard to tell from that angle, I guess. But anyway, that's when we were riding bikes around in Ireland. So I put some of my photos in here as well. But the highlight about this book is right here is there are video links to complete video tutorials that will take you from start to finish through all the projects. These projects are not on my public YouTube channel. They're only available through the purchase of the book. And to make the video links more readily available, just if you buy the book through the, what's it called, Matchbook program, you may have to fish around on Amazon for this, but if you go for the look for the Matchbook offer, you can get the digital download free with the purchase of the physical book. Okay. And the reason I did that was so that you have a better access to the video links. Now, some people have said they've had trouble getting to the projects. If you ever have trouble, there shouldn't be any issues, because when I submitted that digital copy, I did everything right. KDP accepted it. That's the publishing through Amazon. Sometimes I know people have technical glitches at home, and people have posted, oh, the links don't work. Baloney, they work, okay? They work. The digital version would not have been uploaded. They wouldn't have allowed me to upload it if the links were not active. However, if you ever have trouble getting the links and you've purchased this book, all you need to do is contact me. Just snap a picture of the book, and in the email, you can email me, bonniebay@me.com. Show me that you purchased the book, because I do get a lot of scammers, so I have to be careful. But you just show me that you have the hard copy, and I will send you the link, okay? Or what you could do is copy the link. You know how you, if you're, sometimes people's computer setups are just kind of glitchy and don't work. If you just copy and paste the link, just copy and paste it from the digital copy into your browser, it'll take you right there. That's, just because if you click on it doesn't mean it doesn't work. Just copy and paste it like old school, the way we used to do it before things got easier for us, and it'll work. Okay, but I know that was a lot of blabbing, but that's my long answer to the which cable book is the easiest. Of course, I do have stitch videos listed by the book titles of the other two books, Celtic Cable Crochet and Contemporary Celtic Crochet. So if you go to my YouTube channel, hit playlist, and then look for those book titles, or just put that in the search, Contemporary Celtic Crochet or Celtic Cable Crochet, and you'll end up with a video list, a playlist of all the videos that were used in the books. The only stitch that I don't have a video list for would be the pineapple lace on one design called Doolin Delight. But in the book, there is actually a stitch diagram, which is, very easy to read. So hopefully that will help you there. Okay, falling behind here. Thank you, Judith, for your comment there earlier. And that was an excellent question, Pat. Brat's mom is in the chat. Let's see, that just jumped as soon as I said that. She says, hi, Bonnie, finally got here. Better late than never. Well, welcome. I haven't given away anything yet, so you haven't really missed anything yet. And Melinda Hunter says, sounds like an amazing trip. Paul's Epistles, oh, okay. I'm assuming you read Paul's Epistles often, and seeing those places in person would be fascinating. Yeah, I've got a lot of study. That's the good thing about it being delayed, though, is I have a lot of books to study before I go, because I want to really bone up on my biblical history like I've never have before, so that I understand it better. I have a daughter-in-law who has a master's degree in biblical history. I mean, she's so smart. I wish I could take her with me so she could just explain it all to me, but I don't think we could afford that. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Shining Moon. She says, we are next to Houston, Texas, getting ready for the storm here. Oh dear. And we have Pamela in Willis, Texas. Yeah, you guys get a lot of storms too. And Linda says, I was a missionary in Cyprus Cyprus in the Mediterranean for 4.5 years. Oh, how wonderful. Beautiful island. Were you talking about the Middle East island? Linda, to be honest with you, the itinerary was like a 2.5 week long itinerary. It's a very long one. I couldn't remember it all, but that may actually be adjusted now since it's going to have to be redone for 2 years later. And who knows what this COVID-19 thing is going to do. Hopefully it will disappear, be eradicated. But, you know, not sure. I'm not, you know, not sure exactly yet. But, you know, as we get closer, I can let you all know more. Hopefully somebody will get that in just a minute. Um, and Tanika says, love to hear from a fellow gardener. She said, Bonnie got my book. So happy. Yay. Glad you got your book. Kathy says, it's been a tough week. Thank you for the live to keep my mind on other things. Well, I thank God for you all because this gives me something to look forward to. You know, when all the days look the same. And although this has been a great week for me, let me go ahead and just stop there. I just had a blast teaching these CGOA classes, and I'll let Swati and Judith know. To be honest with you, this is the first time I've done this. You all knew that. And actually, I appreciate Swati joining my knitting class. That was the very first knitting class I've taught in my entire life. But I just love doing that. I love showing how easy this craft that has so mystified me for so many years. It's kind of irritating to think about it. I've had this book on learn how to knit, and I just couldn't figure out the diagrams. The pictures were just so confusing to me, and I just couldn't get it. 2-3 years ago, learned how to knit continental style. It just made it a breeze for me, and it just opened up, a whole new world. And I can look at sweaters and things now, and the things that used to intimidate me greatly, I can look at it and I'm like, I know how to do that. I can just write the pattern out for you now if you want me to. All I would need to know is someone to tell me what size hook and what size yarn are you using. And it really is that easy. You're talking 2 stitches, not 6, like us crocheters have to know before we even get started. There's so many skills in crochet that you have to know. And for so many years, I thought this was the easiest craft. No. We have the harder craft. So if you all are afraid of knitting, don't be. I'm not trying to push that on you, but anyway, I'm talking too much about that. But these Zoom classes were really fun. It's one of those classes where everybody could see me, I could see them. If you wanted to talk, I could talk back and forth with you all. It was fun, except for the 2 or 3 times that my phone froze up and I had to rejoin the conversation. Although I actually had 2 setups, I had 2 spots in the chat, so if one failed, I could get onto another one, so it was not, not a big deal. But that's probably because everybody and their cousin was on Zoom that day. But that aside, I think the classes went really well. It seemed like the people got the information, and we had a really fun time talking, and I had to get off at the end. I mean, after I said goodbye, because I just sat down and cried. I just missed being with you guys. I mean, it was a great size group, and what I want to know from you, and please, I'm probably not going to get to all of the chat right for a few minutes, but please, in the chat, or even post later if you're watching this video after the live, please post in the comments below. Number 1, I want to know, would you be interested in doing a Zoom class? These would not be for free. These would be, it would be a price. It would be comparable to what you would pay at Michael's or someplace like that for a crochet class. I'm not going to price these into the stratosphere like I've seen some classes. I don't think that's right. I think it needs to be, I want to make this accessible to people, but yet at the same time, I have to be able to cover the expenses that I have here, and I need to cover my time as well, and I know you understand that. But I'm going to make it a reasonable price, I believe. I'm thinking of a 2-hour class. I'm thinking of maybe beginning classes, beginning crochet, definitely beginning knitting again, because those classes went so well. I want to do that again. And I'm thinking of some 3-hour classes. I want to know, what would you like to see in the way of a class? What kind of a class would you like? Would you like one on scarves exclusively? Would you like a class that teaches you to make something, or are you more interested in a class that teaches stitches? Like I love crochet stitches. In a 3-hour period, we learned, I believe it was 9 stitches, 9 different cabling stitches. There's one class that I'm real excited about teaching. It's called Big and Bold Cables. It's teaching the technique that I use that's unique to my designs. And I think it kind of smooths out the way cables look in crochet so that they're not this, this boxy looking kind of a cable. But please tell me below, what would you be willing to pay for? I mean, as far as a class goes, something that you want to see in my channel. Somebody did mention a garment, maybe garment construction, or I don't know. You tell me. Okay, so when you get time, tell me what you would like. Okay, and I look forward to reading these comments. All right, I saw a little bit of freezing up there. I hope things are going better now. Let's see. I'm gonna try to catch up with you. And we have Salome Romero. Thank you for joining us. I'm not sure. Let's see. Kathy Breyer says, I still have to finish my sweater. Brenda says, I love your Celtic cable crochet book. I'm working on Celtic mandala throw and loving it. Yay. Well, let me talk about that. Let me get through a couple of these comments first. Let's see, we've got a conversation here with Terry and Esther, which is wonderful. I just love to see you guys chat together. That's so cool. Hey, Jan. Jan says she's a little late, but come on and join the fun. You're never late. Yes, Ann Butler says, make sure everyone hits the like button. Yeah, definitely. If you are new to the group, new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the thumbs up, that actually helps the video to go a little bit further, and it really blesses me. And don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to hear or receive more notifications in the future. That way you'll get messaged on your YouTube account that the new videos are coming and everything. Thank you for that reminder, Anne. I always forget that. Let's see. Salome is speaking in Spanish. I'm going to look up your... Hold on a second. Hannah or Esther, if you could translate Salome's question for me, or the comment, I'd appreciate that. If you can go to Google Translate and translate that for me, then I'll try to respond to that. That would be great. Kathy says, first time listening on my phone. I have an iPhone. How do you do thumbs up? That's a good question. Does somebody know how somebody can help Kathy on that? Let me see. I don't know, Kathy. I'm broadcasting from my phone right now. I'm afraid to touch it because I don't want anything to go wrong with this. But if someone can tell her how she can do that, that would be great. You can always come back later and do it as well once it has rendered a bit. Okay, Esther says, exit the chat. It should show like the button. Okay, I hope that's understandable. Good, good, good. Thank you for doing that. All right, Hannah, did you get the translation on that? Okay, so Swati says garment construction and big and bold cables. Noted, Swati. Noted. I am actually going to be working on a sweater. I'm actually working on designing a sweater right now. That actually might be a good candidate for this, although it's going to have a lot of cables. It might be a multiple week class. Maybe if I did a class where it's like a 3-week long class, 1 hour a week, I'm thinking that actually might work out well for construction, kind of like the way I release the videos for the sweaters. But where you'd have homework that would kind of make you get the work done. Maybe that would be helpful, although I wouldn't want to constrain anybody. But anyway. And Marcia says, garment construction would be fantastic. I want to put my ideas into wearable garments. All right. I'm thinking maybe one class that I've wanted to teach for a long time is designing your own poncho. That's one that I've wanted to teach. I actually submitted that that was, I believe, one of the classes I was going to teach at CGOA this year, but you know, CGOA didn't happen because of the virus. But yeah, okay, okay. Can you show some joining stitches? That would be a good idea. I'm gonna have to go back over this chat when this is done, and I'm gonna write these down. And Donna says, I'm just joining in. Had an appointment this morning. Well, welcome, Donna. I was actually kind of running a bit late this morning too. I had to go pick up some pain medicine for my mother-in-law. They didn't have it yesterday for whatever reason, so bless her heart, she had to wait another day before she could get relief. And as soon as I heard it came in, of course, an hour before the chat, she gets the call. Okay, it's here. So it's like, okay, zoom, zoom. Let's go get this thing and get back. And was able to get back in time, but that's why I was not able to. Anyway, all is well that ends well. And Diana says, listening while working overtime. Love the mandala blanket. Well, let me go ahead. I am going to read those comments, ladies, even if I don't comment. Let's go ahead. And I'm going to do this a little differently today because you guys are on to the numbers game. You know how I do the numbers. So I'm going to just change it up a bit, okay? But let's talk about the magazine. I have 3 of these to give away. And the photography in this is fabulous. And I mean, look at all the colors in that. Just think of the loose ends to hide, ha ha ha. But I think it would be worth it. And in this magazine are 16 different throws, and lots of good, let me show you, lots of good and up close pictures. I'm not gonna have time to show you all of them, but I want to show you a special one. I think many of you have seen this already. This is my Celtic mandala throw. This is in here. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, I don't have the actual blanket to show you. The throw is actually in Maryland, and I'll try to show you in a couple weeks when I get back home. I didn't see a reason for my husband to ship it down to me here because I'm probably going to give it away as a wedding gift next week or so. But the Celtic mandala throw video #1 is doing extremely well. It's about at 12,000 views right now, and in 4 days that's a lot for a crochet video for my channel. So thank you for those of you who've shown interest and viewed that. Video #2 comes out this coming Monday. Now the pattern for this design is available through the purchase of the magazine, and let me see how much the magazine is. Got to get the glasses. Okay, the magazine is $9.99 in the US or $10.99 in Canada. It may be at Barnes and Noble or wherever you go that have larger, magazines available. Books A Million may be a good place. They carry these sometimes, but I have seen these a lot at Barnes and Noble. Well, things like this at Barnes and Noble in the past. You can also order a hard copy from Annie's. I have the link in the video description below. It's there today, I promise you. That's my affiliate link, which doesn't cost you any more, but it'll send you to Annie's if you wanted a copy. But let me show you more of what's in this. So really, this is a better deal, if you ask me, because if you get my pattern, it's just one pattern. But the video links are free and on my channel. Here's another. I'm having trouble with my fingers. Here's another beautiful, colorful throw. And I really like the way they did the photography. They photographed them all flat too, so that you see, exactly what you're going to be doing. And let's see what else we got. Here's a star blanket, kind of like a ripple in the round, as it were. Let's see what else we have in here. Here's another one. Of course, the color is better in person. You can check some of these out online too, at that link below, and you can see the colors better. Oh, this is nice. This is a lot of beautiful texture. I'll just show you a couple more. Oh, this is nice. You probably have seen this one before. the Cathedral Rose. Looks like a cathedral window. You've probably seen that. This has been in Annie's store for many years. It's beautiful. Here, I'll show you the flat picture. Isn't that gorgeous? And all these are in one book for $9.99 US, $10.99 Canada. All right. And we have, you know, even some simpler ones too, which are nonetheless beautiful, just with all the color. And this could even be something, some of these patterns might be really good stash busters too. Like, this looks like a granny square with some added stitches. And some of these even, like this one uses, it's hard to see with this, uses self-striping yarn. So if you've got some of that self-striping yarn in your stash and you're wondering, why in the world did I get this and what can I do with it? Here you go. Oh, this is nice. Lots of beautiful texture. So I've got 3 of these, and I'm going to give one away right now, and then I'll do the other 2 as we go along. And the first person to tell me the color of my very first car. Go. Just tell me the color of my first car. And the first person to get it right, I will. Now, also, let me preface this. I can only ship in the U.S. I'm so sorry, but I can only ship in the U.S. So let's see. Okay, it wasn't blue. It wasn't tan. Nope, wasn't burgundy. Sorry, Laurie. It wasn't red, although I'd love a red car. Nope, wasn't green. Suzanne Walker, it was yellow. Suzanne Walker, this is yours. I'm going to put this aside. Suzanne, if you could, okay, I'm done, guys. I will ask you another question in a few minutes. So Suzanne Walker, if you could send me an email to bonniebay@me.com. I'll go ahead and I'm going to type my email. Let's try that again. Okay, we've got a winner. We've got a winner. So yellow car, and it was bright yellow too. Actually, my dad helped me to paint it. It was a 1971 Corona, Toyota Corona. It had about 120,000 miles on it when I bought it, and I probably put another 50,000 miles on it before it died. So it was an old car when I got it. It was even older when I got rid of it. But I still remember that car, and sometimes I have dreams of driving that car. I remember that the seat was not entirely bolted properly to the body of the car. I mean, so we're talking not extremely safe, but you know, hey, I was a kid way back when, and you know, it was a car I could afford. It cost $500, which was like $1 million to me back then. Worked my first job to pay for it. So Suzanne Walker, congratulations. I'm going to be giving away 2 more in just a few minutes. So hang tight. Got 2 more. That's right, Sandra. My dad painted it. Yes, with a compressor and everything. My dad was very handy. He could do. Olivia Power says, I'll pay for shipping. Well, Olivia, if you win, we can talk about that, okay? The problem with the shipping outside the U.S., the other thing about shipping outside the U.S. is not just a financial thing. I don't even know if some of that, I guess you can still ship outside. I just don't know how difficult that would be through the post office right now because of the COVID-19. I know that things are delayed terribly. And depending on what country you're living in, I don't know what the rules are because it's different. And I know for a while there, people were like, the U.S., don't come to us if you're from the U.S. because they were so afraid of getting the virus from us. But so I don't know where things stand right now, and that's kind of my other reasoning. But if you're the winner, we can talk about it, okay? We can try to negotiate something there. But yeah, so I don't mind paying postage in the U.S., but when it comes to postage, and I have done this once or twice, and I ended up paying like 2 or 3 times the value of what I was shipping to someone just in postage. So that's kind of why I have to make that my rule for now until things are a little bit better. Terry Redmond says, bet it was a Volkswagen Bug. You know, I almost bought a Volkswagen Bug, but the reason I didn't, some of you might not like me saying this if you're from Clemson, but what kept me from buying the Volkswagen Bug from a person that was at work, that I worked with, this was after college, he was selling one. It was a convertible too, so it would have been really noisy and really windy. But it was cute, except that it was bright orange. And, you know, having just graduated from the University of South Carolina, Gamecocks all the way, you know, it's either garnet and black or nothing. It's if you're going to go to colors, you know, representing schools. But if I drove an orange car, my friends who were Clemson fans would never let me live it down. So I had to pass on that car. Anyway, so then I bought another car. Well, I'll tell you what, I bought another car because for a few years after my car died, I only had a bicycle. And I will say that the bicycle was yellow too, until somebody stole it from the back of the apartment where I was living in college. It was chained up with a big chain and a lock, and they cut the lock and took the bike, and I was really mad for a long time about that. I had to walk everywhere until a friend loaned me a bike. Actually, he loaned it, and then he ended up giving me a bike, which was actually a better bike than the one that I had. He actually gave me a 10-speed Schwinn that he was no longer needing because he had a car to go everywhere. So he was very kind. This was just a friend of mine in our church. And I later got to play in his wedding for him and his wife, which was really a lot of fun for me. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. Tell me, I'll give another book away if you tell me what color that bicycle was. Go. Tell me what color the bicycle was. Okay. Let me see. Once I start getting colors in here, I will let you know when I have a winner. What color was that Schwinn bicycle? It wasn't blue. It wasn't yellow. It wasn't red. It wasn't black. It wasn't yellow. Nope. No, it wasn't black. Wasn't blue. No, it was green. So Key Jen, is it Key Jen, you're the winner. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for you. So Key Jen, I've got a winner. It was green. She was the first one that said green. So it says Kijenn. If you can go ahead and email me, and I need your mailing address. Same for Sandy Walker. I need your mailing address. I don't send that to anybody. I don't collect that. I've told you all that before. So congratulations. That was the color of the bicycle, and I still have this bicycle. It needs tires, but it's still in my basement. I have a different bicycle now. But anyway, and let's go ahead and give this last one away. This is kind of fun. Now that we're on a color scheme thing, I have one more question. Let's go ahead. Let me see. Emmeline. Oh, Emmeline from Switzerland. She's like, sorry I'm late. I was picking up my Love Craft order in Germany. Hello, everyone from very hot Switzerland. Uh-oh. You guys don't do hot weather well, do you? You know, in case some of you all don't know, a lot of people in Switzerland don't have air conditioning because they frankly don't need it. But I guess they might enjoy it today. So Hannah says, welcome just in time for a giveaway. Thanks, Hannah. 33 degrees Celsius. Can anyone translate 33 Celsius into Fahrenheit for us? That would help we Americans who go by Fahrenheit a lot. I could translate it, but I'd have to switch off, and don't want to mess things up here. But okay, we have one more to give away, and tell me the color of my one and only new car. My one and only new car. It was a Mazda GLC. I bought, it was a 1985 Mazda GLC, 4-door. The final, let's see, the cost that took me 4 years to pay for until it got totaled. Let's see. Okay, Marley Hagen, you got it. It was blue. Marley Hagen, if you want to email me, BonnieBay@me.com. We've got a winner, everybody. Thank you for sending that in. It was blue. I bought the car at the end. I know there's probably some of you crocheters, if you're new, you probably didn't tune in to hear about my car stories, but I'm going to tell them anyway. I was saving for a long time just to get the down payment for this thing. I needed transportation. Had gone for a couple years without a car, and this was like my first year of working, and I was carpooling with someone. I would pay for my friend's gas so that he would drop me off at work and then pick me up. We lived on the same street. He later ended up marrying one of my roommates, which is really cool. But what happened is this was at the end of the season when they had their clearance, and I paid $76.76. I still remember that. That was the sticker price for this car. And it didn't have any electric windows because I didn't want that. I didn't want it to break. I had to roll down the windows, but it did have air conditioning. It was the first car I ever owned with air conditioning, and it had a cassette deck in it. A cassette deck. Yeah, those things that had the tape on them, and you'd have to wind them with the pencil if they got caught, you know what I mean? And it was a 5-speed. It was a 4-cylinder. And this was before all these green initiatives and everything. And I used to get on the highway because the speed limit was 55 miles an hour. We couldn't even go 60, but I could get 52 miles to the gallon in this little car. And this was before, you know, all this, you know, they have these hybrids and all that cost, what, 3 or 4 times that now. And they get about half the gas mileage. 52 miles to the gallon, no joke, in this little 5-speed Mazda. I love it. So my next dream car is going to be a little sporty Mazda, and that's one reason I love this car. The only trouble I had with this car, believe it or not, is trucks, like a tractor trailer and then a minivan later on. Trucks kept running into it. I would be sitting somewhere or minding my own business in my own lane and smash. They would run into me. Eventually, someone hit me so hard that it knocked the transmission out of the car, and by the grace of God, it hit the wheel where the transmission was and not the driver's door, which is probably why I'm still talking here today. So yeah, that's the only problem I have with the Mazda. Kept getting run into. Got rear-ended by a tractor trailer. Boy, that was fun. Anyway, car stories. Let me just check and see what else I have to talk to you about today. Don't forget, if you're new to the chat or just tuned in, if there are any live Zoom classes in crochet or knit that you'd be interested in learning or taking, again, it'd be a small investment to take with me, please let me know. If you're not in the live chat now, post later, post in the comments below. I want to know what you're looking for, what you would really like to learn. And I really look forward to maybe scheduling these, particularly in the winter, you know, looking towards those winter months when there are no conferences and everybody's stuck indoors to weather and what have you. So make sure you do that. Okay, I'm going to read your other comments about cars. I'm not going to have time to go through them all. Oh, I want to read them now, though. Kathy wants to know, have I talked about the blanket behind me? I missed last week. Maybe you mentioned it last week. That's a good segue into that. I haven't talked about this yet. This will be coming in 10 days. Okay, this next Monday, I'm going to release number 2 of the Celtic mandala throw. Yeah, that's the right side. I thought I saw a string hanging there. It's like, wait a minute, I hit all my strings. But this is, let me show you. This is called the Easy Wild and Wavy Baby Blanket. And it is crazy. It is crazy, crazy, crazy colors. This is a self-striping yarn that I found at my local Walmart store. I had to get out of the house one day and just, you know, masked up and everything with my hand sanitizer in tow. But so this is a lot of fun. It's another easy repeat pattern. It's a two row repeat. It uses 1 row with the puff stitches. These are made a little bit different than a popcorn. It's a puff stitch. It's a little different. And then it also uses another row just of straight single crochet for the second row. Very easy once you get the hang of it. It's important to count, though. Counting is pretty important with these ripples, as you well know. But I do think a beginner can do this as long as the beginner knows the stitches. But if you don't know the puff stitches and all of that, I teach that in the video. And this will be coming to my Lovecraft store in about a week or so. I'll have that up. So that's something to look forward to. And I have another thing coming in a week or two after that. This was a lot of fun for me to do. I made this with sock yarn. Let me show you. It's an asymmetrical scarf, or you can use it as a shawl or a scarf. Now, if you don't have sock yarn and you want to make it out of thicker yarn, you can actually make a larger shawl by just upsizing your hook to match the yarn that you have. Let me show you how pretty this yarn is. This is hand dyed, some yarn that I had in my stash that I got at my local store, local yarn store. And but if you don't have the fancy schmancy stuff, don't worry about that. This is a really good project for your yarn, like remnants that you have in your stash. Maybe you have some sock yarns and you just don't know what to do with them. This is a good project. If you have like leftover sock yarns, or even what is it, sport weight yarn, anything like that, you can combine them. And you can make the stripes different sizes. They don't all have to be the same. It's just using the wattle stitch. I mean, this is really an easy beginner project. Well, maybe I would call it an easy project, not an easy beginner. I think it's about a notch ahead of the easy beginner. But it's just kind of a fun, mindless, kind of an easy repeat pattern using the wattle stitch. And I'm going to enjoy wearing this once the weather cools down a little bit. All right, let me check the time, make sure I don't go over too much. Okay, see, Brat's small. So my only complaint was big trucks whiz. Okay, my only complaint, just talking about cars again. My only complaint was when big trucks whizzed by on the expressway and made it feel as though the car would tip over. Woo! Yeah, I know what that feels like. Let's see. Yeah, I'm backing up a little bit about the car, talking about the car, about the gas mileage. Yeah, 52 miles to the gallon was great. I was so fanatical about this new car. Let me tell you, this was the only new car. My mom and dad never had a new car in my lifetime. So when I got this new car, it was a big deal in my family. And I kept records of everything. I actually was really weird about this. I wrote down, every time I gassed up, I wrote down the mileage. I calculated the mileage for every tank of gas in this car. I still have the notebook in my things, in my storage things at home. Yeah, I even have the license plate of this car. It was Odo, was the ODO, I can't remember the number, but I remember we used to call it Odo because that was the license plate lettering. And anyway, I kept record. Every drop of gas that went in there, I wrote down how much it cost. I wrote down how much gas went in, how many miles during the last fill up, and I always filled it up. I always topped it off. Yeah, I mean, not a crumb in it. I kept it vacuumed out and everything. I have to tell you a funny story though. My mom baptized the car for me, literally. I kept this car perfectly immaculate, and we went to, I believe we were driving. Actually, I think we were going to my grandfather's funeral in Cincinnati, and she had a cup of coffee, a cup of leak-proof, in quotes, leak-proof coffee mug. Well, you guessed it, it tilted over. It was not leak-proof. And so in this beautiful light blue carpeting is this beautiful brown coffee stain all over the bottom of the car, of the passenger side, and we cleaned it up as best we could. But hey, I just told my mom, well, I guess you just commissioned the car. But it kind of breaks you in after a while. You get that first scratch, and then you're not as excessive about everything. But yeah, I'm not that way now. 5 children later who've, by the grace of God, grown to adults. Of course, dirt? What dirt? I don't even see the dirt anymore in a car. Doesn't bother me. We don't have all the leftover cups or any of that stuff. We don't keep that mess in here. But I have released my standards quite a bit. Just to let you know, I'm not, I forget the word about it. I am not excessive about it anymore. I'm normal now. So, Don't have a new car anymore either, so the ones we have we love. Um, we have, I think, 167,000 miles on the newest vehicle we own, which is about 10 years old. We're putting the miles on it like crazy, going back and forth to Maryland and South Carolina now. Let me just scroll down here a bit. Yeah, Taneka says, inside of a car with kids. Oh my. Taneke, when we had the green passenger van, the 15 passenger van, I mean, we would clean that thing out. We would find food in there. Sometimes, kids would drop something out of their car seat, and I don't know that I want to go there, but, talk about, dried apples and interesting stuff. You talk to Hannah about that. She can get a kick out of that. Terry says, I keep a new car until the wheels fall off. As a result, for my age, I have only owned 4 vehicles. Well, good for you, Terry. That's great. Personally, let's see, I can only say that I've owned 2 that were not shared by the family, but I can't even think of them all now. And you have 5 children, and it gets complicated. Anne wants to know, can I download your patterns in the UK, please? Sometimes the videos goes over my head. Memory not too long, not too good. Yes, and my store is actually based in the UK. It's called lovecrafts.com. If you go to lovecrafts.com and you click on the patterns, or you can just look in the video description below. I have a link there directly to my store. But if you go to Lovecrafts, they have a lot of great patterns. They are based in the UK, but they also serve US, and I think anywhere you have a video connection, you should be able to download the pattern. Now that would be the independently published patterns. This is only available through Amazon.com, but I also have some hard copies here. If you all are ever looking for an autographed copy of any of my books, I can mail you them from my Etsy store, and that information is also in the video description. I have this book, my 2 books from Penguin Random House are in that list, and also the book right here on the baby blankets. So if you're really into beginner baby blankets, it's probably it's a much better deal if you get the book, because you'll get like 12 or 13 patterns there for the price rather than buying them individually, if that makes sense. All right. Okay, so Tineke says, was it he learned to drive in Baghdad? It was a miracle he could drive. Ooh. Wow. I can imagine learning to drive in Baghdad. I've never been there, but I imagine it would be difficult. Welcome, Carol. Carol says she's late, but she made it. I love the new blanket. Well, great. And we have, Judy says, I've only owned 1 brand new car, Jeep Grand Cherokee, had for 10 years, and gave to my daughter when she got pregnant for safety. Well, that's so sweet of you, Judy. Yeah, I've only had 1 new car, and, since I've been married, I'm not against new cars. I'm not against that at all. We haven't bought one as a couple. We've always bought used cars since we've been married, but we've tried to buy them, in good shape, for sure, especially when you have to get 5 kids around. Laurie says, I also had 5 children, all boys, and thank goodness they are all grown. Thanks for the info on your books. Wow, 5 boys. That must have been fun. We have 2 girls and 3 boys. So, and they were all kind of, even the boys were definitely on the quiet side. My husband's very quiet. He's pretty reserved. Now my kids can be interesting. They can be fun, but yeah, the boys are on the quiet side. Not as wild as some stories I've heard, but we've kind of kept things kind of low key too. Yeah, Swati said she has to go. Got to go to work, but you all have a wonderful day and weekend. Thank you for joining us, Swati. Okay, I didn't see. I missed a comment somewhere, but I think I'm going to have to. Let me check my list here to make sure I've covered everything I wanted to. I think I have. Oh, one more thing. Not a big deal if you can't, but if you haven't voted for the Carolina Sun throw, it's still up for running in Pattern of the Month. I haven't checked the stats yet. I checked last week. I think it was in second place, which is not a big deal. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm happy that it was even nominated. But if y'all get a chance to go to Pattern of the Month, I'll try to add that link to the video description below. It's a little wieldy getting in there. You have to. It's a couple of step process, and I think you even have to have a Lovecrafts account, which makes sense. So, I mean, for those of you who've already gone on and voted for me, thank you so much. I appreciate that, because I know it wasn't an easy peasy thing to do. But if you all don't, some of you don't mind trying to figuring out the IT, I'll add that link in a few minutes once I go off. And if you can vote, you can only vote one time, which is good. And the way you vote is when you hover the cursor over the heart, a heart will light up, and if you click on the heart fills in, then that's a vote. That's kind of the way that works. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to look at all your comments that I didn't get to comment on. I thank you so much for taking the time to do that. But I wanted to read you some words of encouragement before we go. This encouraged me this morning, and when I read it in my Spurgeon devotional, it just reminded me of you all right away. And the verse was, this is from Proverbs 11:25. I have two verses, one from the Old and one from the New Testament. Proverbs 11:25 says, whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. And immediately that just reminded me of you all. Just the way you live your lives, you're always making things for people and you're giving things to people. And I know that blesses you. And this is just confirmation. You know, the Lord is saying, you do this, you think of others and bless others, you will be blessed. And your comments are always encouraging to me. And I so appreciate that. And there's a verse, which are the words of Jesus from Luke 6:38, which is very similar to this. He says, give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. So, good words to think on this week. And just remember, you can't outgive the Lord. You can try. And the more you try, the more blessed you're going to be. So I hope that encourages you. And I hope you have a great week. And I hope to see you next Friday. God bless. Bye-bye.